I don't know about y'all, but this used to be one of my favorite couples. Actually, I thought that they would be together forever. So we're talking about Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin, right? Now, why did Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin get divorced after over 20 years of being together? Actually, the number is about 27, 28, almost 30 years of being together. I know they look young still, but over 30 years, almost 30 years of being together, and then they call their relationship off. You know, there's a statistic out there that says that most divorces filings are done by the woman. Whatever the case may be, or the reason why women are quick to file for divorce more than the men are. I know there's going to be a comment section filled with women saying, yeah, because y'all putting us through a lot of shit. And this ain't like back in my grandmother days. We don't have to take your shit no more and all that other stuff. I've heard both sides. I'm just going by what the statistical numbers are. Anyways, I found this story quite interesting and I thought I would share it with you because it has a whole lot of information concerning the question, why did they get divorced after almost 30 years together? Shout out to MSN. Now, after more than 2 decades together as a couple, Tisha Campbell announced that she and Dwayne Martin were divorcing in 2018. So, what led up to the split? What led up to them not being together anymore? What led up to almost 30 years of being in love and being together? And suddenly, this is it. I can't stand you no more. I want a divorce. We need to go our separate ways. Now, before parting ways, Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin, they were often held as the epitome of a long-lasting marriage in Hollywood, especially to the African American community. Now, in fact, back in 2013, and then the couple was featured on an episode of The Real, and they were asked the question, how y'all managed to stick together through it all? They answered, we're winging it. Winging it means we're just playing it by ear, man. We're just going, right? Just like everybody else. This is what Tisha Campbell and Dwayne said. That was their answer. Meanwhile, Martin, he shared that laughing together and setting boundaries. He said that laughing together a lot and setting boundaries for the way that we argue and the way that we fight, those were the key to success. In other words, he was implying that we go through our arguments and fights like every other couple, but we have boundaries that we never cross. Like we never call each other out of our names. We never use profanity towards each other. If the thing gets too hot and we separate, cool it down, then come back together, work on it. You know, boundaries. Okay, so it was a sweet moment for sure. For sure. And the Campbells even shared a story of how Martin proposed to her at a Denny's diner. It wasn't no big proposal at any fancy place with a big old diamond ring. It was at a Denny's diner. However, just 5 years after that interview, the couple was over with. In a statement shared with Page Six, Campbell said that after 27 years of being together and two amazing children, it pains me to announce that I filed for a divorce. See? So I told you. It was almost 30 years. 27 years is 3 years short of 30 years. That's 3 decades. And two amazing children. It pains me to announce that I have filed for a divorce, implying that she is the one that filed for the divorce. The Martin alum, because she was on Martin, right? She played Gina on Martin. We fell in love with her as Martin's wife, Gina. And, you know, to learn that she was married and she was married to this man, Dwayne. And, you know, people were like, damn, that's a good relationship. They're funny together. All that. Anyhow, she went on to add that it was a tough situation for everybody that was involved and appealed for some privacy. Soon enough, though, she said more details began to emerge regarding the nature of the breakup and what led to it. And it was not pretty. Months. You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of the Maui twins. This reminded me of Tia and Tia when she came out, and her and her husband, you know, they had that Tia Tamara, you know, the twins, right? Okay, so they had that interview where they asked them, so how you guys make it last and whatever. And, they were like, oh, we're so in love and we do this and we do that. And then like a couple of months later, it wasn't years, a couple of months later, she announced that she's filing for a divorce as well, which tells me that celebrities are just regular people with a title, right? A bit of money and a bit of fame more than the average person. However, they have regular people problems, and sometimes they fumble and stumble just like regular people do. At the end of the day, you take away the title, the fame, the money, they're just regular folks, right? So a lot of people like to emulate and build their relationships and model it off of, oh, celebrities, their favorite celebrities and couples goals and all that. If you notice the trend, one interview, they're happy as hell, smiling, loving each other, telling about their secrets, how we make it work for this many years. And a couple of months down the road, divorce is filed, which tells me that it was a facade and a fake all along. A custody battle ensued. Tisha Campbell announced her split from Dwayne Martin. Things took a turn for the worst, and in a public way at that, which was pretty embarrassing. A custody battle ensued. They're fighting for the kids, as did the accusations from Tisha that Martin was keeping money from her while they were together. Then, in early 2019, she actually said that he had also been abusive throughout their relationship. Tisha Campbell requested a restraining order. Campbell requested a restraining order against her then estranged husband in 2019. So she took out a whole restraining order against him. In documents presented to the court and obtained by TMZ, the actor claimed that Martin had been physically, mentally, emotionally abusive for the whole 2 decades that they had been together. Now, this is some fuck shit. This is, this is some fuck shit. I don't know. I always raise red flags and find this weird that you presented a picture of happiness. You had many interviews over 2 decades. You had many interviews that were asked about your relationship, and you were always joyful and you were always putting up this happy face. I tell anybody like this, right? If you're not happy, don't wait around for 20, 30 years to go by, and then you come out 27 years later. You wasted like 3 decades of your life. This even means that you had children with somebody that you were never happy with, right? So she came out later, and her accusation was that he was physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive for the past 2 decades they had been together. She also said that he had continued even after they separated. She said that he grabbed me by my arm to try to get me in the bedroom. She claimed in court documents a month before seeking a restraining order, he grabbed me by my arm to try to get me in the bedroom, and this is why I'm filing a restraining order. Wow. It's funny when relationships go bad, because I can bet money that he has grabbed her by her arm many times and pulled her into the bedroom, and it was all fun and it was all good. But once her heart was set on leaving, that same grab to get her into the bedroom became abusive. It's possible that was the final straw for her. In her application for the restraining orders, the actor said that I can no longer live in fear of retaliation. The need to press criminal charges for his acts overshadows the embarrassment of making his crimes against me public through this report. Now, though Martin, he did not respond directly to the claims in his filing of his own, he claimed to be more concerned about her mental state and alleged that she had been overly emotional during her deposition. Insiders were speaking to TMZ were quick to rubbish that, though chalking it up to what they deemed as his habit of gaslighting her. Now, on top of the abusive claims, there's no denying that money had actually put a strain on their relationship. In fact, Sources speaking to people pointed directly to their financial situation as a possible deciding factor in their decision to part ways. Man, you got to think about it, right? At 1 minute, you're in Hollywood, you're on top of the world because you're on a hit TV series, you're making fat checks, your lifestyle is good, you can buy the nice house, you drive nice fancy cars, you're in the limelight, you're an A-list celebrity, and so's your spouse. You're appearing in movies and different appearances here and there and whatever, and then the work dries up, and then the money stops coming in like it used to, and then somebody of the couple is suddenly unemployed. And then the money is only coming in one way. Now somebody is starting to feel like they're more powerful than the other person because they're the one that's bringing in the money when it used to be both of us. That's a hell of a cross to carry. So as fans of the Martin Show alumni may remember, in 2016, then when the couple filed for bankruptcy, according to People, court documents showed that it was the same year that the couple separated. The same year they filed for bankruptcy was the same year they separated. That's very telling right there. And as insiders who spoke with the outlet pointed out, that was no coincidence. With their schedules, having to fly here, fly there, this appearance, that appearance, and then their money issues so bad that they had to file for bankruptcy, it all played into it. Now I want people out there to know this, right? Sometimes people file for bankruptcy to protect their assets. They don't necessarily file for bankruptcy because they're flat broke. Donald Trump has filed for bankruptcy quite a few times. He is not broke. He is still a billionaire, right? Anyways, regrettably, the former couple's decision to part ways did not alleviate their financial troubles. Both of them were denied spousal support, leaving Campbell in dire financial straits. As she revealed in a candid interview with E.T., nothing is in the bank. Nothing. I had maybe $7 to my name. It was like I was starting all over again, she recounted tearfully in that interview. So the courts said Dwayne didn't have to pay her anything. She didn't have to pay him anything. Split it down the middle, go your separate ways. Apparently, he ran off with all the money. Starting over is not always the easiest thing, but it is a necessary thing. It is a beautiful devastation, is what she called it. Here's hoping it only onward and upward from here. I wish them all the best. But knowing now why, I know even more now that watching these couples and yelling couples goals when you see them, don't do it. They people, regular old folks with the same problems that you're going through too. Would have been nice to see them still be together after all those years, where they can look back and say, oh, we've been together 35 years. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen. And also, there are some people out there who are unhappy as shit in their relationship, and they're like just being there just so they can get to that point where they can say, I've been married for 50 years. Yeah, but 49 of those years were sad. So was it worth it? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know, if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.